I'm so glad I'm here. So glad I'm here. So glad I'm here every day. So glad I'm here. You know, I'm so glad I'm here. I'm so glad I'm here every day.
Hi, I'm Pat Andrew, and I'm a lead teacher in the toddler program at Children First Montessori. Toddlers are from 18 months to 36. Their day starts with hookup, and hookup is the parents drive through the driveway. They stop and we open the door and escort the children out of the car. They're independent in that they have their bags and lunches with them and they're walking into the classroom. It's like going into work. It's just, it helps with the separation anxiety, and that we found that when the parents walk them in, that it's a little bit different. They might get the idea that the parents are coming with them, but when they're in the car and they know the parents are going to go on and go to work or where they need to be, that the separation is much easier. So they walk in and then they put their things away. They put their bag away, their coat, if they have a coat. And then we do something called lunchbox work. And what lunchbox work is a one-on-one interaction with the child, a kind of a greeting. And the children take the things out of their lunchbox and they tell us what they are.
I have applesauce.
This is part of our language development. And in the beginning, they would just be naming objects, like they would just say milk. As their language develops, then we open that conversation up to include food classifications, fruits and vegetables, colors, textures. Things are heavy, light, so there's lots of things going on with lunchbox work, and the children just absolutely look forward to it and love it, and they like talking about what is theirs, what's in their lunchbox. They take the things out, we put it all back in, or they put it all back in, and then they put their lunch boxes away. As they get closer to 3, they can handle lifting it up and putting it into the cubby. And then their day actually begins with their work time, or what we call work cycle. And if the child comes at 8, then they're going to be working from 8 to 9:30. If they come at 9, then they're going to be working from 9 to 9:30. So it just really depends on what time they arrive, how long that work cycle is in the toddler classroom. We would like for the child to have as much time to spend with the work, because with toddlers, repetition is key to development, and also we can show them different ways to use the work. There's an actual cycle that goes along with doing one work, and that is to get it off the shelf, take it to a table or a work mat and work with it. And then when you're finished, you put it back so it's ready for the next person. So that order is being created by putting the work back the way you found it. Toddlers have a tremendous drive for order and consistency and repetition, and all those things are in place in a Montessori classroom. Decision making and choice and opportunities to develop that confidence to do those things comes from practice, and more decisions you make or the child makes, the more comfortable they are. And then we see the self-esteem and the confidence and the skill levels just change when they're allowed to make that. People are driven to do different things at different times, and Maria Montessori talks about sensitive periods, and children have sensitive periods to colors or to numbers or to puzzles, which has to do with space, and a lot of what we have in the toddler classroom is sensorial, because we know that young children learn through their senses, and that's why when they make those choices, we know that they have an interest in that work. About 9 o'clock we start with snack, and we offer them a snack which consists of a grain and a fruit. There's a whole process that goes along with having snack. And if somebody's ready to have snack, if they've been working for a while and they've decided they're hungry, then we ask them, are they ready? And what that means is that they need to get their diaper checked or go to the bathroom if they're in underwear, and wash their hands before they come to the snack table. We do that so that we have a conscious effort and a deliberate sequencing of routine.
So if they say, I want snack, we say, are you ready? And then they go do what they need to do to come to the table. And even our 18-month-olds, after about 2 weeks in the classroom, they understand what that question means, and they'll go and get a diaper from their cubby, and we'll check their diaper, and they'll wash their hands and come to the table. They do get their own snack. They're pre-prepared, and they take them off of the shelf, and they sit down and they get a glass. They dispense water and they put that on the table. Then they pull out their chair and sit down.
That sounds like fun. We use placemats in Montessori classrooms because that creates a boundary. That's their space. And when they get up from the table, they always push their chairs in so that they don't trip over them or somebody else doesn't.
It helps them feel comfortable, confident, and build self-esteem.
But again, it's all this part of process that's creating order, and the way that we learn numbers and reading and all those things that have to do with our academics is through being able to create order out of what we're getting. And what we're doing with the toddlers is helping them create those pathways in their brains for that kind of order. From about 9 to 9:30, we're snacking, doing self-care, and then at Circle, we all come together. We stop doing multiple things and we do one thing. So during the day, we do things independently, but then we work as a community, so we work together. It's a transition time to get to our circle time. And Montessori talked about the absorbent mind, and that's like a sponge, and they're absorbing all this information. And during circle, you can really see that on their little faces. And we do lots of different things. I use lots of props, so flannel boards and puppets, and then of course books, and I tell stories, I read stories, but Circle is all about information and language.
Do you remember what cows say? Moo! Not cock-a-doodle-doo?
My job is to make it so interesting. They don't want to not listen. They don't want to not be engaged. And you can tell by looking at them that they understand, and it's just magic. It's just magic, that's all. After Circle, we either have an extended work cycle, depending on the weather, but if it's nice, we try to get them outside for about an hour. A lot of what happens is about the community, about we're going to do this together, and we're going to wait for our friends, and we're going to cooperate. We actually make somewhat of a line, and we walk quietly down the hall and safely down the stairs, holding onto the rail. And we talk a lot about not pushing, and following each other and holding on to the rail and waiting for that person to go. But it just helps them, again, become more conscious of working together as a community. And our outside play is an extension of the indoor environment. So everything that applies outside applies inside. And that means that we don't take work from each other, and we don't fight over things, and we go on circle hunts or looking for rocks that are a particular shape. They might come up to me and say, I found blue. I'm like, oh, wow, you found blue. Let's go see blue. So it just shows us that it's just carrying through into their lives and into what other things that they're doing. Lunch is it's not so much about getting them fed as it may be in your homes. It's more about just respecting mealtime. It's not a time to play. It's not a time to walk animal crackers around. If you're going to eat them, eat them. If you're not, you can just throw them away. But I think there has to be a respect for mealtime. I think it's real important that we understand that it's a time to nourish our body. While they're eating lunch, the assistant or myself will stay with them at the tables so we can help redirect them, and then the other person's putting the mats out. And then after they get up from the table and clean their faces, and if they need to go to the bathroom at that point, they do, and then they go to the nap mats. We have 12 children in here on mats, on the floor, and within about 15 minutes, the room is asleep. That just comes from helping them learn to self-soothe and to relax and to rest. And there's things that we do as a group, and that's one of the things that we all do together. We all rest together. After nap, some of them are having snack, the early risers, and then the other children are waking up, and we're doing our self-care again. We're either going to the potty or changing diapers or putting mats away. If they've gotten up early and they've had their snack, and they're welcome to get some work off the shelf. We try to provide as many choices during transition as we need to so that the children are occupied.
Alright. Now, if you can you take the yellow part and put it in the yellow bowl and the white part in the white bowl?
It doesn't look any different at say at 2:30 than it does at 8 o'clock. We're all still engaged in a respectful, orderly activities. And then around 3 o'clock is when we start our hookup again for leaving.
We end the day the way we start the day, with hookup, with them getting their things from their cubbies, walking out to their cars, with big smiles on their faces and ready to greet their parents again.
I hope you've enjoyed the day in the life of a toddler. It's really fast moving and a lot of fun. And the children learn a tremendous amount during this period in their life.